This morning I have a great treat for you. It's Nina Simone and Backlash Blues, but there's always a little bit of background to the artist herself and the song. Now, Nina Simone was a rare one. She was classically trained, a political activist, furiously intolerant and increasingly strange and self-serving as her life rolled on. And that's just the broad strokes about this persona that was Nina Simone. She was also something of a genius when it came to marrying blues, politics, soul, gospel and jazz. It's hard to think of anyone else who has followed in her footsteps, to be honest. And this song from the late 60s has lyrics by her friend the poet Langston Hughes. It was one of the last poems of his life. He never lived to see the backlash which came as the protests against American involvement in Vietnam at the time became more strident. The ghettos exploded and MLK and RFK were assassinated in that extraordinary year of '68. Black politics became increasingly militant. When the backlash came, it wasn't blue, but red with rage. Now, if we move forward to the song itself, this is what Nina herself had to say about it. She says, "It tells tales of discrimination on this cut, also saying that her oppressor, Mr. Backlash, will get their dues." So that's the background to the song. I have the lyrics in front of me, and I'm really looking forward to going through this because it's the very first time I heard this song. In fact, it was my own sister who had forwarded this to me on the phone and said, "This is what I'm listening to." So I did my research on the song because I, along with millions of other people, adore Nina Simone. Even though I haven't put that, Simone is more an Italian flavor to it. So I'm trying to jazz up a name here. And when I had done my research, I said, that's the song I'm going to feature today. So it is. I've got the lyrics in front. We have that bit of background. And you know, go on YouTube because there are 5 poems by Langston Hughes on YouTube in a video, and that will also give you a bit of flavor to what this song is about as well. The description of Nina and her links are as always in the description attached to this video. Plus, this video has been translated into over 32 languages, so look for your language so you can enjoy the lyrics and enjoy that bit of bio. As always, I give you my interpretation of the lyrics after the song is finished, and I look forward to sharing your views in your comments, in your likes. Please subscribe to my channel because more of the same will be appearing on my channel throughout this year and into the future. It's a new growing channel, and without you I wouldn't be here, and I want to stay here, so I need more subscribers. That's up to you. Back onto the song itself. It is an audio video. This is considered the best version of this particular song, and I'm delighted to be featuring it. And also, it's lyrical once you hit the translation button. Nina Simone, Backlash Blues, her best version. And finally, I would be doing it injustice if I didn't say it came from Nina Simone, Simone sings to the blues, and that's the name of the album, and it's track 6.
Second class school. months before, he said, Nina, keep on working till they open up the door. One of these days when they open it and the doors are open wide, make sure you tell them where it's at so they'll have no place to hide. So I'm telling you, I'm warning you, I'm telling you now, somehow, some way, I'm gonna leave you with the blues. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, we do love you, and thank you, Nina, because as I said, she's a mixture of politics and jazz and blues and everything. And there was something really interesting I wanted that was actually very, very different. And I thought I had it, but maybe I don't have it. And it was a bit of information that I thought, wouldn't that be great for everyone to know as well? So let me just see if I can, before I go into the lyrics, just find it for you, because it brought up so many different things about this particular song. I was really, really impressed, I have to say. Here it is. Now, this is just a little bit of something that you mightn't know about Nina. And it says, in June 1954, the tall, weary 21-year-old classical pianist Eunice Wayman found herself outside the Midtown Bar and Grill in Atlantic City, New Jersey, a few blocks north of Broadwalk. Wayman, who had spent most of her hard striving life in North Carolina, the sixth of 8 offspring born to the grandchildren of slaves, had never before been in a bar. She'd been hired at $90 a week to play 5 hours a night. The salary, considerably higher than her pay as an accompanist to a New York vocal coach, would help her to defray the cost of piano tuition and to pursue her lifelong ambition to become Africa's first black classical pianist. By her own account, the Midtown was a crummy joint, but she approached it as a classical venue. For the gig, she brought her makeup, a pink chiffon dress, and a stage name, improvised on the spot to hide her loose employment from her mother, a Methodist minister who moonlighted as a maid. Nina Simone is how she announced herself to the Midtown regulars. With a glass of milk beside her on the piano, Simone shut her eyes and began to play at 4 a.m. When the set was over, she approached Harry Stewart, the owner and host, to ask how he liked her playing. Why hadn't she sung, he asked. But I'm only a pianist, she replied. Tomorrow night, Stewart, tomorrow night, excuse me, Stewart said, you're either a singer or you're out of a job. So there's another little tidbit for you. And that's how her career began. So we're going to go straight into the lyrics themselves now. Again, it's live, just give me a few moments. And it says, verse 1, Mr. Backlash, Mr. Backlash, just who do you think I am? You raised my taxes, freeze my wages, and sent my son to Vietnam. You gave me second-class houses and second-class schools. Do you think that's all coloured folks are just second-class fools? Isn't it funny in 2022, since the 60s, how times have changed? For people say it's politically correct now to say people of colour, but I have my sister saying she knows a black woman who says, I don't want to be called a person of colour, I'm a black person and I'm very proud. So for the reference in this video and to keep it true to form, I will say black. So the whole thing was, in the 60s, we had Vietnam going on. We had the unrecognised heroes, the black soldiers that went to fight in Vietnam. And they were called up and that was it. It was a devastating place to go to because very few people returned. And if they did return, they returned with severe injuries and mental problems. All wars does that to the soldiers. So I'm not taking away from any veteran of the war or any person that's in the army. It's just the Vietnam. Some of the things I've read about are so horrific. It's like people went through that. Good God, it was a never-ending war, never-ending war. So she's giving out politically to the government. You raise the taxes. Oh yeah. And in return for raising the taxes, black people were always subjected to living not second-class lives or third-class, almost non-existent lives. They were forgotten about, the forgotten entity of the human race that existed within America at the time. And as she rightfully asked, do you think that all colored folks are just second-class fools? The chorus continues. Mr. Backlash, I'm going to leave you with the Backlash Blues. The Backlash Blues is, I would say, protests. I would say it's probably referring to when people are looking to get votes, to get into power. Isn't it funny that they always came, a generic white person would always defend black people and say, I'm going to defend them, I want them to have better schools and better situations. But as soon as they got in power, they turned their backs and just went and did everything for the middle class, upper class, and forgot about the working class and lower classes of society, particularly communities, black communities. So it continues, verse 2, when I try to find a job to earn a little cash, all you got to offer is your mean old white backlash. And it is referring to white backlash, because backlashes to me can mean many, many different things to people. And if you have a particular reference to backlash, please put it in the comments. But don't disrespect what I'm trying to interpret for the first time for the lyrics. Backlash to me is a way of, okay, most people at the time in power was white. The government was predominantly white. And if you think of the Vietnam situation and black people being sent in their thousands to fight this particular war, as she said, is your mean old white backlash, but the world is big and bright, it continues, and round, and it's full of folks like me. In other words, we're not the only people of color who are black, as it continues, who are black, yellow, beige, and brown. So, as she said, if that is millions of people, and if they came together, the backlash would be devastating for any white person in power that ignores them, that gives them rundown homes with one light bulb and maybe 6 or 7 people sharing the one room and saying, get on with it. That attitude has to stop. So the chorus is, Mr. Backlash, I'm going to leave you with the Backlash Blues. In other words, in the lyrics, in the songs, we can gather momentum for our own people, for our own cause, for our own situation here, and move forward rapidly and hit out at the system at the time. And that's what Nina, in her own way, was doing. The outro finishes, because it's short lyrics. Mr. Backlash, Mr. Backlash, just what do you think I've got to lose? I'm going to leave you with the Backlash Blues. You're the one who'll have the blues, not me. Just wait and see. So their time was coming. You think of Martin Luther King. You think of all the situations black people have been more or less put in to fight for their rights. They had to walk the opposite side of the street. They couldn't go into coffee shops that were white. They had to live in their own community and just accept whatever happened to them, but they were taxed if they were working, and the taxes were taken off the businesses, and they were persecuted. Black people were severely persecuted in the 60s. But as she said, just what do you think I've got to lose? In other words, if you think you're going to strip me of my dignity, you've already done that to my ancestors, to my parents, to my grandparents, to my siblings. You've done that already. There's nothing left. You've stripped us like, let's say a leg of lamb being stripped to the bone. And as she said, you're the one who'll have the blues. In other words, there'll be black and blue. Vocally through the protest, they'll be put down. Things will change. We will move forward. We'll not always be the underdogs. And as she finishes, just wait and see. So you come from this song wrote in the 60s, and a very wonderfully, beautifully wrote song, and you look at the situation today, and you think of interracial marriages, you think of how accepting black people are, and how generic white people find black people a beautiful race. We see things in different eyes. We've grown up with black friends, we've grown up with Chinese friends now. I see it with even the youth of today. I'm a mature man, but I see people half my age walking around with so many friends and so many different cultures here in Dublin, in Ireland. It's wonderful how advanced it's become. Everyone's part of a group. I don't experience with people today racism or people being prejudiced, and it's wonderful to see everyone eating wherever they want to eat and being with each other and having fun. So when you think 60s to now, it took many decades to get to this point, and we see black people winning Oscars and starring in many ads that I see in TV, even on YouTube. It's such an involvement, because now it's almost like you almost convince yourself it's disappeared, yet there's many countries that have to conform. I realize that. But here in Ireland, it's wonderful to say, to finish, that I see it. I was born, all the way back. I hate to say how many decades, and I have seen through the decades an intolerance to the most tolerant level ever that I've seen in Ireland, and may it go forward and continue to grow and grow. Well done, Nina Simone. I hope you've enjoyed Backlash Blues, a little bit of bio to it, and Nina herself. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for listening, everybody, and until next time, take care.